Welcome to the Bitcoin RoadShow. Been a big storm here. It's been really cool. I love storms. Let me wipe this lens off here. I don't know why it's so murky. 480p. Right. So there's a big dip that I think is coming between, well, I've already mentioned this before, but between me and a few friends, we think at least the next 3 months is going to be good times to buy. And the usual market manipulators will not just have the price sit low. They would probably want it to pump higher and lower and higher and lower. So you'll have little sideways actions from certain points. Well, I think this is what I think will happen, right? Sideways action down, sideways action down, sideways action down. How low? Nobody knows. I'd say a safe bet would be somewhere in the upper 7,000s. And it might go even lower. And don't think just because the halvening happened that it has to, the average price of mining is 12 grand. The market decides what the price is, right? And also, to a degree, the miners who mine for cheaper, as low as, even at the moment, as low as about somewhere between about 5,000, even though the average mining price is 12,000. Well, difficulty rate can change that as well, right? So they will also help play hardball. They would help whales that want to accumulate more Bitcoin by making the market dump, and exchanges, market makers as people, right? They would assist them by maybe dumping a lot. Let's say they have stockpiles. They probably dump their stockpiles. That's probably what they do. They probably hold onto it when the price is high, or even if the price is low, dump a lot so the price can go even lower to flush out the competition, right? Now I wouldn't put a strong guarantee on it lasting longer than a few months, even though we've got all this worldwide economic problems that are happening, because at the end of the day, the value of something, okay, there's a supply and demand factor, but also the value of something that is undervalued, which I think Bitcoin is, when it's a safe haven asset like gold. So when gold, even though times will get bad, gold might go up to $5,000-6,000, even beyond it. We don't know. When the when the fake markets like derivatives and paper gold, that kind of thing, when they all start to suffer, people will be looking for safe haven assets, right? So tangible things like gold and silver, and Bitcoin as well. So this is why I don't think you can really just expect that it's going to stay low because the economy's low. So I'm thinking sometime around, it could happen Q3, but most likely Q4 or even the start of 2021. And I think it's more of a safe bet to say we should be back in a bull rally then, a proper bull market. But again, nobody knows. And the second you make a prediction, that's when usually you'll jinx it for yourself if you're relying upon it. So all I'm telling people is, oh, by the way, if you want to get any signals, if you're on Facebook, if you're on the Cryptoversity.group, that's the URL that takes you straight to the Facebook page for the Cryptoversity. It's got about 21 different sections in there, including support. So just to ask questions and things. Don't ask dumb questions, but anyway, look and read first and look at some of the videos first in section 1 to 3. But yeah, if you want to be part of that group, I have a few people on there. A few of them are traders. I'll start adding more slowly as they choose to be on it. And we all live in different time zones, so when something happens, it's probably good to have some qualified ears to listen to. I'm not a TA guy, but I'm pretty good at reading trends overall. Just looking at a graph and saying, oh well, or I do use Market Cipher, and I do use what do we call it, Trading View, and I do understand quite a lot of patterns, and I have cheat sheet to look at, so I can look at those things and gauge from a TA perspective what could happen, like if something's a bear flag or a bull flag. So you'll get more information than you might have if you don't know anything about trading at all. Again, this is not for traders. This is for people who want to actually buy Bitcoin. But what I'm saying is you get signals from people who are traders who are sitting there all day watching the markets go up and down. You may as well harness this information to use it for your own benefit to accumulate Bitcoin at lower prices, rather than buying in at 9 grand or 8 grand and finding 2 weeks later it's at 6. Just hold on, and now is that time. This is why I'm doing this video, is to say maybe hold on a bit, and just, if you had an amount that you were ready to spend, maybe just spend 10% at a time, and whenever you see something that looks like a good dip, put in 10%, and carry on doing that. I know I sound like a broken record saying this, because it's but that is the best way to get into it. It's the best way to accumulate. One guy in the group, he bought Ethereum in the last dip at 110. I mean, that's already up at 200 right now. I think he should sell and and buy again, because I think Ethereum's going to come down to somewhere. I thought something around about 130, but my friend, he's more into the charts, TA and charts, and he reckons about 140. But hey, that's so I decided to set my, never get greedy. So rather than sit there, hold on. I've done this too many times. Hold on for the 140, because that's the round number that you like. Make something like 141. If there's like a big buy wall, for example, if you look on in exchanges, you can see depth charts. So I can get people, if you don't trade, I can get them to copy and paste depth charts. You can actually see where the buy walls are. That's where there's a whole bunch of people waiting at certain price points to buy, and it will bring the market back up again. So then next thing, you'll be waiting for 100, 140, and then a million other guys are waiting there. Price will shoot back up. Your buy won't get filled if you're looking to buy on an exchange. So here's one thing you might want to do, right? Rather than, if you don't want to sit on Coinbase, your money waiting there for the moment to strike, and you want to set a buy order, you can actually just go into an exchange. One I've gone on recently is called liquid.com, and it's really easy to get your KYC. I'm also on Bittrex and Binance, but what a pain in the arse they are to get to read your photograph, and it keeps on failing. When technology fails me, I just want to throw the laptop out the window, right? So I recommend Liquid Exchange at the moment. Liquidity is good, orders get filled really quick. But the point is, another friend of mine, what he did recently is he had money sitting in cash. He doesn't want to take the risk that the ATMs won't be open, or the governments might change rules. So look what they've done in Russia. They're talking about stopping people getting out of the ruble and making it 7 years in jail. They haven't passed it yet, but it might happen. Other countries might start to do this to protect their currency, to protect capital flight from their currencies. Okay. So that's when, if you have money, don't take what you think you might need in 3 weeks' time, but what you're happy to gamble and lose away. That's the safest way to do it. Then you're not sitting there in the group moaning and whinging at people because you put in money that was from your credit card or something. Just don't be a dumbass, right? But take the money that you're happy to spend and convert it into a stable coin cryptocurrency as soon as possible, or something you think is going to hold its value, whatever it might be. Coins like Link seem to hold its value quite well, but you're still probably safer at the moment in a USD stablecoin. The reason why I say USD is because you do get European, you get stablecoins from all around the world, right? You're best with USD because it's, of the fiat currencies, it's the strongest. It's the one that's least likely to dip in a hurry. You'll get problems with other currencies. Look what's happening in Argentina right now. You get problems in other countries around the world. It will probably happen. It will most likely happen before the US, because the US have a hall pass to print as much money as they want without causing hyperinflation, because people need to buy their money to buy oil, and also trade telecommunications minutes and many other things in the world. So that's what I would do. Then you can go into an exchange and set a buy order. Then you don't have to sit there waiting, because I'm pretty sure, when I used to use Coinbase years ago, I haven't used it since 2014 or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that you can't just say, right, I want to buy at this price and leave it sitting there. Correct me if I'm wrong if someone's using it, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that on there. On an exchange you can. So the price is, say, 200 right now. You could say, right, I want to buy Ethereum, and it's $143, and it will have the sale order, the buy order, sitting there waiting to go. If you're not in TUSD or USDC, one of those stable coins, one of the decent stable coins, try to stay away from USD Tether, because they've had a history of shadiness. They're at the top of the leaderboard as far as the stable coins are concerned. There's always been been a lot of dodgy news, especially with them, and to do with exchanges manipulating prices. So one, they don't deserve your support, and two, it's if one were to fail, it would be most likely that one. So the next thing is there's I spoke about the other day about these other altcoins. Me personally, I'm not going to be buying back into more of these altcoins again. The ones that I speak about quite a lot, which are Zilliqa and Cardano and Digibyte, because I really do believe they're going to come down further. In this 3 months when Bitcoin suffers, I believe they'll suffer more. I don't have full agreement with other people on that factor, on those factors, but that's what I think is going to happen with it. I didn't actually sell out any Zilliqa, so I've still got that, but I did sell out of Cardano and the other one, Digibyte. Yeah, that's it really. I'd probably say the same for the stable coins that look strong, like Monero. I'd say they'd probably end up bleeding out along with Bitcoin in the next few months. So I don't know. It's hard to say what will bleed out more, but what I reckon is BTC dominance will probably go down to something like 60, as low as 60%, not lower, I don't think, but probably around about the 63%. It's already dipped from 66, 67 down to 65, I think it is at the moment. So expect that a lot more. And what that tells you is that some altcoins out there will not fall as much as Bitcoin, and haven't fallen as much as Bitcoin has right now. For example, ETH hasn't fallen as much as Bitcoin did the last couple of days. I'm, as far as my main hodl, what I'm really focusing on more and more is a mixture of Ethereum and Bitcoin. That could be a mistake. That could prove to be a very big mistake, but it's what I'm doing. That's the thing. Not every move you do will always work out for you. So I'm just going to buy back what I had originally, and which was about years ago. It was about 10% of my hodl was Ethereum. I'm just going to get back to that level again, where 10% is Ethereum, 80 odd percent is Bitcoin, and about maybe 5, 6, 7% is the other stuff like Dash and Monero and Link, Synthetics, Singularity. Link, those three are the only ones that aren't mineable. Monero and everything else, Zilliqa, Digibyte, they're all mineable coins. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. There's one other thing I might do, and I mentioned Ethereum Classic last time, and then I came across a video from CM Dog, the Scottish guy, and he raised a really good point that I didn't even think of, and that is that if and when, because it may not happen, if and when Ethereum turns to a proof of stake coin, it's currently a mineable proof of work coin, but when it moves to a proof of stake coin, miners will likely switch off, and they've got machines that are only, you can't mine any coin with any miner, right? It depends on the algorithms they use, right? So I'm not sure what the full spectrum of coins. I don't know if Qtum is a spin-off of Ethereum or not. I can't remember, but there'll be a limited amount of coins you can mine with that. So one of those coins will be Ethereum Classic, and it's almost a no-brainer. But the thing is, I wouldn't be putting too much in it, because I know how my luck is with these sort of things. The second that I go deep and go heavy into one coin, then Vitalik Buterin's just said that he's going to keep the proof of work and is somehow going to work in with the proof of stake. Whatever. Whenever I put all my eggs in one basket, I get fucked. Yeah, that's why I don't do that. So just letting you know what I'm up to there. How much would I put in? Probably 1%, not even 1% of what I've got. And that's because, if it doubles and triples against Bitcoin, that gives you 2-3%. That's how you make these little small gains in your Bitcoin and Ethereum hodl. I think Bitcoin and Ether are there for the long term. I do believe that Cardano will become the next major player. and I know that there's so much negative news, and I've given so much negative news about Cardano over the last 3 years. Um, I did actually hold some, but it was on an exchange that got hacked. Um, so it's not like I've been totally against it. I've just been against the in the same. I've been a bit annoyed with Digibyte how they don't do any marketing. That's fine. Neither does Bitcoin really, but it has people advocating for it, so it does kind of have marketing. They needed to be a little bit smarter. It looked like the guy from Digibyte. I can't remember his name. Can't remember his name. Jared, is it Jared Tate or something like that? Yeah. Anyway, he got he's had like arguments with some exchanges and things like that. You've got to be good at PR if you're going to be the front man for one of these companies, and you're playing with investors' money when you get a mood with someone, that kind of thing. You got to really be a little bit more diplomatic. So I wasn't really impressed with that. Wasn't impressed with Charles Hoskinson as well from Cardano. Uh, but then I do understand, as I said before, I understand that programmer types are kind of different kind of person. We can't expect everyone to be the same. I don't want the whole world to be like salesmen, because salesmen don't do shit. They just move shit back and forward. They don't build the world. They don't make it better. People like that do. People like that build and innovate. So that's why I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna, wheel down on these guys in a very negative way, because we're all different. We all have our strengths and weaknesses. That's about it. I'm gonna leave it at that. What else? Oh yeah, except one other thing is, my friend said this morning about the Russia situation. These things can become contagious. They definitely can, but governments work for us. I think it's just a measure of humanity. Has humanity got a spine, a collective spine, or a backbone? Because they can only hinder us so much before people start to fight back. And you got to also remember, here's one fact to remember too. I think, as far as people who hold Bitcoin, you'd be lucky if it's 2% of the whole world population who hold cryptocurrencies. It's probably not even one. I don't know, but it's probably not even one. So based upon that, if governments did start locking people down, let's say you've already got the situation in Vietnam, Pakistan, many other countries. You've had India flip-flopping in and out of this situation. It could get worse, yeah, but at the same time, people are defiant. There are also a lot of specialists who advocate how to hide yourself. They'll help you out. I can imagine that even the average lower, let's say the average, no, not the average. Let's say the most defiant 2% of the population in the world, once they find out they're being screwed again and again and again, will start using other methods. Let's say even up to 5%. And so if it just doubles again, there's Bitcoin easy up to 30, 40K, in the next bull run. So I think look at things that way. And then once you reach a critical mass, they can't, even with 5% of the population in the country coming against the government, they can't fight that kind of force. So that's the sort of thing that would likely happen in the future if governments started to be assholes, protecting the bankers' interests instead of the people's interests. You would see a lot of pushback. The critical mass that got in earlier would be rewarded for getting in earlier. So yeah, don't ever think that crypto's over just because these sort of things happen. It's not. It's a lot more resilient than that. Now there is one downside on that same note. An excuse that was not an excuse, a reason that was used many times by many people. Andreas Antonopoulos is one of them. Of the internet never going down because the bankers rely on it. Therefore, they'd never let systems go down for them. Well, a thing I thought of the other day is, if the system goes down and we have lockdowns, so there's no business going on, there's no business. The government aren't missing out on anything. They've still got their point-to-point network connections that allow governments to speak. I did speak about this actually one video a long time ago, but not with this angle. So the angle I was thinking about is, if there was no loss for their banker friends and them, because they've got point-to-point connections they use, not the general internet. They can rely on their secondary links that are leased lines, for example. They could actually shut the internet down, and it would hinder. It wouldn't stop Bitcoin, but it's going to hinder it a lot. Of course, you can use many other transmission mediums, like you could use satellites. They've got satellite grid going up right now with link. What's it called again? Starlink from Elon Musk, and you've got the Blockstream satellite network up there, and I'm pretty sure it's up already. And then you've got the ability to transfer between any network topology or medium, such as sonic waves between your phones. You can actually network doing these subsonic or ultrasonic frequencies. You can do, direct Wi-Fi connection, whatever it is. There's many ways to actually recreate internet. Bringing down the internet is not as easy as it seems, because effectively you have a national internet in every country. And say, for example, Serbia right below us shut the internet down. Then between Slovenia and Greece, it would just take another path. It's called spanning tree routing, right? Nothing called port fast, but I won't get into that. But basically, it looks for multiple paths, and it takes the best one, right? That's how routing works. So you don't need any one country. Even if America shut down the internet, it's not really going to screw the whole world up. It's going to make effect. It's going to have noticeable degradation effects on the service, most likely. There'll be a lot of DNS servers that won't work and won't resolve names for websites, things like that. But overall, protocols like Bitcoin will still operate. Bitcoin's a lot more resilient than your HTML protocol, because, as I say, it doesn't require DNS servers. So, yeah, that's it really. Well, because it has a copy of the blockchain on all the different nodes and miners around the world. It can handle the whole country being out, or 10 countries being out, as long as there's enough nodes to validate. It can work fine. Yeah, I probably need to look into that a little bit further, actually, about how those nodes communicate and how they route to each other. But I'm pretty sure for the most part it's a lot more resilient in the web. Anyway, so there could be a time where they'd shut the internet down, and never thought I'd say that, but if the banks collapse, then they've got no reason to protect the banks anymore, do they? It depends what the incentive is for them to actually, if the banks have collapsed, well, why would they want to shut it down? Or maybe they don't want to give us internet in the first place. The only reason we had internet was so they could do their business. It all really depends why we had internet in the first place. Was it really just to share technology with mankind, since we've actually the ones who've innovated and spent the money to create it? Or was it just because it was hard to keep it away from us because they were already rolling it out for business and in the banking sector? ARPANET. All right, that's it really. I'm going to leave it there. Cheers.